Hey guys, Matt here from AutoGrow.co, and in this video we are going to be going over 3 examples of A/B tested case studies that have to do with changes to pricing pages. And we're going to see and analyze what insights can we glean from this so that you can make a decision. Okay, maybe you have enough traffic to A/B test it yourself, or perhaps there's a best practice based on some sort of universal or near universal pattern that's worth you just implementing and seeing, as a sequence test. You could say, okay, before and then after, because a lot of times, even if you're a more established company, you could be very, very successful, but your traffic may not be at a place where it makes sense to A/B test, especially on your pricing page where you're tracking, even if it's just clicks. You could be waiting a long time to get a result that is statistically significant. And even then, it might not be necessarily worth it. So let's go ahead and look at these 3 case studies and let's see what insights we can get from them. So for the first one, this comes from this kind of mini app/database that I built a few years ago. It's one of AutoGrow's products, AutoGrow's proven sales conversion pack. We don't advertise it anymore. It's out there. If you want to go Google for it, maybe you can find it. And if you sign up for AutoGrow, just ask for it. We'll give it to you as a nice bonus. Just say you found us through this video, okay? But anyway, in the proven sales conversion pack, it's a database. It's sortable. Let me see if I'll just actually show it to you here. And there's 313 case studies that I found that were credible. Because a lot of case studies are out there, they're A/B tested. They say, oh, check this out, but they're not statistically significant. They might test it to a degree of 90% confidence or 70 or 80% confidence, or just the source and the situation. You dig into it, there's just something that's off. There's details that don't make sense. Because there might be other variables at play. The traffic source might have changed or something like this. So picked out and went through and analyzed personally 313 conversion case studies that were credible, put them into this package right here. And we're going to look at the first one here so you can see how it's searchable and sortable. It's pretty cool. So the first one, this increased the conversion rate by 10%. And let's see, was that revenue per, or it doesn't say revenue per visitor. So I'm going to assume it was actually checkouts were increased by 10%. So basically, this e-commerce company, you can see this is the before screenshot. It's an e-commerce business. They're selling printer supplies, cartridges, ink cartridges, and they're taking you through checkout here. And on the right-hand side over here, you can see it says add to basket, to proceed to checkout, add it to your cart. And then the winning version here, which performed 10% better. So not a huge lift, but that's significant over the course of a year, depending on the size of your business. I mean, even if you're only doing 6 figures, an extra $10,000, that's significant. So, there are a lot of case studies out there that will really try to grab your attention when they're published, and in Google, Google search, oh, we increased by 700 something percent. Be always skeptical, especially if they don't reveal, to what statistical significance that it was tested. Like with these 313, for example, the minimum that we would accept into this conversion pack was a 95% statistical confidence or higher. So we have many that were 95, 97, 99, and a few that were apparently 100. I guess you can never really get to 100, but it was probably 99.99999. Anyway, what's going on here? Why does this perform 10% better? What was the change exactly? So what you can see is they are comparing, because they probably talked to their customers, and they understood that, in their minds, this company was called Paperstone. In their minds, they're thinking, well, what about the big box retailers and other well-known brands that are out there? Viking, Staples, probably being the biggest. What are their prices? Why should I buy from you? And they took that objection into account, okay? Because, if your goal is to increase sales related to your pricing, you have to understand, well, what are those barriers, whether they be something in the design itself that's causing some sort of friction or some sort of objection in terms of information that a majority of clients or customers, to a degree that it's actually going to move the needle for you in a meaningful way. You define meaningful for your business, but it's going to move it in a meaningful way, and you address those objections. So in this case, you can see the price comparison, and this also highlights the principle of contrast. Okay, so comparing multiple options, you can relate it to the law of range. Okay, from AutoGrow's 11 Laws of Sales Funnel Physics framework, the 11 Laws of Sales Funnel Physics. You can go Google for it if you want to learn about each of the laws. But the law of range is one of them, where if someone, the perception of choice actually increases conversion rates typically if it aligns with their preferences and the information they're seeking. In this case, even though they're not choosing in the moment between these, it gives them the information that they need to say, okay, if I was choosing, I could go to Staples and I could get it for, an extra 83 cents, but obviously I'm paying more compared to Paper Stone, so I might as well go with Paper Stone. So, and yeah, just, in terms of design too, just keep in mind that the power of contrast, not just in terms of information, but visually as well. It applies to call to action buttons. And speaking of which, let's look at the next case study. So pricing page optimization here caused a 76% more people to go to the free trial sign up page. So it's not this study did not actually track the number of signups per se, but with such a meaningful increase, and from experience testing our own pricing page, looking to get more people to click through, I can tell you 76% 30-day free trial on all accounts. So they're not even saying, hey, you can go buy it if you're ready, or you can sign up for a free trial, because it's like, logically it makes sense. Like, people, if you want something for free, you're going to get it rather than pay up front. We are talking about not a lot of money here, $25 or whatever to start, but still, free is free. And the design, is much more polished, put together. Okay. You can see here the color contrast too. I was speaking about contrast in terms of the colors as well. Color contrast, multiple plans. Obviously, you can talk about the law of range there. It looks like they added a third plan. Let's see the price points. Okay, annual, semi-annual. Interesting. Yeah, just overall a much cleaner design. Very clear call to action here. So you can say the law of range applies. Multiple choices. The law of visibility really applies in terms of the offer is highly visible. It's very clear, what the incentive is, and that it's a single call to action. So both visibility and clarity in terms of what the offer is across, each of the plans. It's not like, buy this, buy that. So you might, just based on the copy update by itself, you might also be able to argue, law of clarity there as well in the copy. Because it's like, how can you try big contacts free for 30 days? Which also brings me to another law of repetition. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 call to action buttons on here, and multiple times they're talking about how it's free, freemium, and any other laws at work here. Oh, of course, law of friction, just because, hey, it's free. All right. So one quick tip. I don't want to say this is an A/B test by itself, but kind of a quick tip before we get to our final third case study. I was reading some research over here on Conversion XL, and pretty much confirmed something that we already do and have always done on our pricing pages and for our clients, I'm proud to say. But basically, there's always a question when you're dealing with whether you're a SaaS company, whether you're selling productized services, whatever the case is, you have a decision to make in terms of the order of your pricing. And I'm actually surprised, digging into some of the research here, it's actually most common. Let's see, 81% of SaaS companies, so I guess that doesn't include services and productized services, but they will list the prices in order of least expensive to most expensive. And that never made sense to me, having had a pretty deep experience in sales, one-to-one webinars, selling from websites, info products, everything over the last 11 years since we started, actually 15 years since I had some previous businesses I worked on. So to me, it always made sense. You put the highest price first because it's price anchoring, and in terms of contrast, right, the higher price makes the less expensive or least expensive option seem even more affordable. What they found here was that, okay, that is the best way to do it because, the participants in this study, they did a pretty in-depth study on this, chose the expensive packages more often when they were listed first. So ultimately, as you have to test it yourself to really know, because different industries, different products, different services, the context, the alignment with the market, it can be different. But that being said, you want the best practice in terms of pricing, you should put the highest price highest price packages on the left side. All right, so now without further ado, let's get into the third and final case study here, after just that, highlighting that quick best practice. This comes from Instapage. So Instapage is similar to Lead Pages. They are competitors. I haven't really used their products all that much. I used it once. It seems fine. But anyway, appreciate them putting up this case study and sharing what they learned. So basically, they have two versions of their pricing page. Their hypothesis was, hey, so this was the variation. Yeah, here's the variation we tested against the original. So their hypothesis was, rather than having a big long list of, all the features for comparison in their packages, instead they would kind of consolidate. So they would say, okay, you got your core, your standard, and then your enterprise level plan. And instead of having a big long list like so here's the original. There we go. So you can see this big long list. You can compare the features. Okay, so basically the basic has all these, but none of these that are crossed out, and the enterprise has all of these. And you have to scroll down to check it out. Okay. The headline here is different. They didn't clarify whether or not, that was part of the A/B test. I'm just going to assume no, because I get the impression that they may have taken this screenshot sometime after they completed the conversion test here. So yeah, what can we take from this? Because what ultimately happened was they conducted this A/B test and then a follow-up one. And surprisingly, actually, this version lost, because even though they say, okay, here are the features that are available on every plan, which you would think, oh, well, people have less to scroll through. They can just see, all right, this plan includes everything, and this plan includes that. This format just does not convert as well. And why is that? Well, I would say that I just think it's more clear and intuitive. Kind of like, a table, you can just look across and see, okay, this is included, this is not, this is included, and all these are not. It's long. You may think it's ugly, but it's just more intuitive, and it's law of clarity. I just think it's more clear. The law of clarity is kind of funny. You can write a headline for an ad, you can write your sales page. And your sales page can be super long, but generally speaking, that's the success pattern as it relates to the law of clarity, as it relates to this case study. And why is that? It's because when you have more words, you can typically make it more clear what the product is, what the benefits are, everything that's included, anything that's not, you know? So I think that's really what's at work here, at least, kind of from a visual standpoint. Had the other version worked, I would have said it would have been the law of visibility, just in the sense that the CTA buttons are, higher up towards the top. I think you have to, I kind of think you have to A/B test to really know, because this is something that I'm thinking that we would A/B test for our own pricing page here, but I'm second guessing it after seeing this case study. So anyway, you can see how we have a similar format where it's a little bit of it's not as long as Instapage, but it's definitely a little bit longer here. You can see how, some features are crossed out, the only feature being strategy calls. And other features are just only on the highest package. You can see how number of projects, maybe we can make this more visual in some way. Okay. Applying that other case study with the print, with the print cartridges and printer supplies, one thing that I would say here, where they're giving some sort of a comparison to other options, we're relatively unique in terms of our value proposition and our business model and our pricing model. So what I would kind of consider doing an A/B test to compare us to, because, I don't think comparing us to based on price, because it's not, perfect competition does not exist in our market right now, where we would want to say, oh, like compared to Staples, blah, 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 our price is just a little bit more expensive. It's like, okay, if not in comparison to that, then to what? Well, it's like, what are the alternatives? Okay, doing it yourself and hiring your own team. So I think that maybe we could, have some sort of a price point there, above maybe each of them as well. But yeah, hopefully that inspires you with some ideas for what you could be A/B testing on your pricing pages. If not A/B testing, again, I really recommend just doing a sequence test, because most of the people watching this, you probably don't have the traffic where it makes sense to do, at best, I would say you can do some sort of a click through, because you can get results from an A/B test where you're testing, okay, which version gets more clicks over to your checkout page. That's a lot easier than doing, actually measuring checkouts, people actually buying and maybe A/B testing your price points, because it just doesn't make sense if you have, even if you have 50,000 people coming to your website per month, well, what percentage of those are actually getting to your pricing page? Okay, maybe 5,000, if you're pretty well optimized. Okay, so, but then how many of those 5,000 are actually going to buy? Maybe 2%. The point is that you would have to wait for a longer period of time to get the results. Okay, so 2% would be 100 visitor, 100 conversions. So how quickly do you make that per month? So in order to be statistically significant, well, you would have to wait, I don't know, multiple months, 3 months or more, and then in that time, what else could you be doing otherwise? So a faster way to maybe test it would be, to do a combination of some sort of a click through, like how many clicks you're actually getting on your CTA buttons, and then combine that with just a sequence sort of analysis, like before and after. Okay, did our net sales go up? How many people actually checked out? That may have come from a click through from this A/B test. So you can look at it that way, and because you have to be a bit entrepreneurial with these case studies, and in terms of taking action to implement, you have to you want to be moving quickly, but it's 95% statistical significance for a reason. 95% of the time it works 100% of the time, but there's a 5% chance always that there was something else going on with the the A/B test where maybe it just, it's a false positive, right? And if they tested to 100%, they would have maybe found that out, okay? But in terms of you selecting what changes to make within your funnel, whether it's on your pricing page or elsewhere in your website, in your email marketing automation, you have to make a judgment call at some point. Otherwise, you're not going to change, you're not going to improve. And so it's a little bit of this, but unless you reach, scale, and then it's like, okay, you can do an A/B test, a new A/B test every week, and that's great, or even every day, and that's great if you reach that level of success. But otherwise, you got to do a little bit of putting your finger to the wind, and you have to look at the numbers, and you have to say, okay, what's the probability of success here? And you might be wrong, and implement something that's going to detract from conversions, maybe 1 or 2 out of every 20 changes you make. But the hope and the expectation is that as long as you have your eyes on the data, that's only going to be a minor detractor versus the other 18 that actually work out. Okay. So again, it's a bit of finger to the wind, but it's data-driven decision-making. Okay. So with that being said, what do you guys think of this video? Did you enjoy the case studies? Did you get something out of this analysis? Did you think of some ideas for how you could actually apply the lessons learned here to your own website, to your own funnel, to your own pricing page? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you. I'd also love to hear, what is your number one biggest challenge in your business right now? Let me know in the comments. It gives me ideas for future videos to make. And be sure to like, I take it as a big compliment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and subscribe to our email list as well over at AutoGrow.co. Speaking of AutoGrow, if you want to get quality marketing work done for you fast, then check out AutoGrow.co, because we let you delegate all of your digital marketing projects without the headaches of hiring. Okay, we built a platform that allows you to do this. It's really amazing. You get 12 skill sets in one. So you have a full team, as our clients like to tell me and tell our entire team, all the 5-star reviews that they give us. You get a full team right at your fingertips with every skill set that you can need and more. Copywriting, design, development, ads management, app management, for configuring tools and stuff like this. Video editing and motion graphics is new. Voiceover is new. We won't win you an Academy Award probably, but we can make you a video from scratch. We can write the script, for your presentation. We can redesign and design from scratch your presentation. Landing pages, pricing pages, booking pages. Really, the only limit is your imagination. And it's perfect whether you're an agency who's looking to scale your revenue and be able to take on more clients, because let's face it, it's a headache trying to find good, qualified people. Or if you are an ambitious business owner who you want to get work off your plate, and how difficult it is to build your team, it gives you additional, things that you have to, and people that you have to manage. But you don't have to do that with AutoGrow. You just log in, you sign up, you log in, delegate. What do you want to do? And if you need help thinking of things, well, that's why you have a strategist assigned to your account too, who you can meet with face-to-face on video like this. And what's awesome is that it comes with a 14-day satisfaction guarantee. And we recently launched a 7-day free trial. So the way that it works with the 14-day satisfaction guarantee, first 7 days are completely free, okay? And then you're charged for the first month. You have an additional 7 days just for your peace of mind, okay? And we have many, many clients who have been with us for well over a year now. And they are some very, very successful businesses whose names you'd recognize. You can see some examples of them over on AutoGrow.co. So go there, learn more about it. You can watch a 15-minute demo or book a call, or you can just go sign up if you're ready. Again, it's AutoGrow.co, and look forward to working with you, okay? So go to AutoGrow.co and get your 7-day free trial right now. All right, so until next time, keep auto growing, stay focused. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm making these videos on a daily basis. I'm giving you a little bit of inside baseball, a little bit behind the scenes, showing you what we're working on, showing you what problems we're solving with our own business as we solve them, and what I'm learning as we continue to auto-grow ourselves. So until next time, again, keep auto-growing, stay focused. I will see you soon. Bye.